Hey, today, I know I've been doing a lot of Pinnacle of Combat gameplay. I have been playing this game to death. I am absolutely impressed with this game. It really doesn't feel dumbed down at all. And that's saying a lot for the platform it's on. There's a lot of other action style games on mobile, but a lot of them are dumbed down, kind of like Honkai Impact and Genshin. Genshin. The characters only have like a couple moves, and the combat's nowhere near as deep as what you have here. Honkai Impact, the characters only have a few moves, but that game's mostly about synergy and stuff. This feels like a straight character action game, and I feel that the control scheme, in some ways, not always, in some ways, it actually works a bit better than the standard DMC control scheme. I think that the DMC control scheme is quite a bit antiquated at this point. There's been a lot of talks. People have started to get more aware about accessibility, how some things we take for granted when we're able-bodied, like in terms of playing video games. People who are physically disabled, at least in the hands, are not able to do them. A good example is doing Showdown with Nero. You have to hold down R1 and then triangle and circle, and then forward on the analog stick. So you're using a pretty significant chunk of both of your hands to do that move. I do think that this game does a pretty good job of making it so that you can do like basic actions without having to do a bunch of finger gymnastics. I actually think it works quite well. They can improve it a bit for sure, and it does feel like the cancel timings and stuff feel a little bit off. Some moves are needlessly stiff. The only other real problem I've had with the game is they start to pile on the puzzles towards the end. Also, a lot of the bosses are massive HP sponges right now. Like you can hit them for an eternity and you're doing like barely any damage. And I actually was able to pull a legendary sword or legendary rebellion for Dante, and I'm still doing crap damage. Overall, the game's been pretty fun. I think they need to polish it quite a bit here. So actually, they have a little thing here I ran through Google Translate that will hopefully uh, tell you guys what to expect. I know some people have been commenting on my streams and stuff. I've been playing this game like all week. I've barely been playing anything else. That's a testament to this game's quality, but it's got a number of issues. I'll be going over them as I scroll down here. So these are things that they're going to be doing for the next version of the game, which is they're going to make Lady available pretty much after beating the first level, the first chapter. Levels in this game are a little bit different from how they are in a traditional DMC game, in that you go through certain parts of a level and then you hit a loading zone, and each loading zone is counted as a different part of the chapter. Later on, you can replay the chapters, and they're split up by those loading zones. So each loading zone, some levels do have a couple loading zones, but the majority of them only have a few. When you get to that point, it will transition and give you the rewards and stuff. So currently, you have to get to the 10th floor of the Bloody Palace, which is basically just beating Phantom, and you'll get Lady that way. But they're going to make it so you can just clear the first level. Next up, the appearance of classic weapons is free to adjust. I guess you can call it transmog. If you played Neo 2, it's very much the same way. Like in that game, you can take like the most ridiculous looking weapon and make it look like the most generic one if you want to. If you want your character to look more realistic and stuff. I guess it costs money to use that right now. I was trying to use the cash shop today, and it's been a nightmare to get it working. I really like the game. Obviously, I've been like no lifing it. I've been playing it at my kitty sitting ships and stuff. It's crazy how good this game is, but at the same time, I don't really want to keep playing if I can't cash as a foreigner, because you know me, I don't really play F2P in anything. I always pay for stuff, especially a game like this. I feel like they deserve my money, even though all this stuff's going to be wiped and they're just going to give you a full refund for whatever you purchased during this beta. Looks like they're just an overall they're going to be reducing the amount of paid content. So this is English, but basically this means that the progression is going to get adjusted. Right now, you need a lot of books to learn moves, and the progression feels a little bit disjointed because it's a character action game. You want a bunch of moves. That's the whole fun of character action games. If a character action game only has like 3 moves, I don't consider it to be a good game in the genre, because it gets too repetitive. You don't have enough moves to meet certain situations and stuff. I definitely felt like while I was finishing the story that a lot of times my character was underpowered because I kept trying to get moves, and you really do need moves in this game. A lot of the moves, they have a lot of utility. There's some moves that will group enemies up, there's some that will relaunch them and stuff like that. And when you don't have those moves, your character feels really limited. So I guess they're going to reduce how many books you need. I would suggest they lower the cost as well. Some of the moves take a ridiculous amount of red orbs, and if you try to get those, you're not going to be doing much damage. This game does have a lot of RPG elements, even stuff like Royal Guard. Royal Guard feels pretty much useless at the beginning because it does like almost no damage. It's better to just stay in Trickster and just try to dodge things with your Trickster Dash and Skystar. So hopefully they will fix that. They're going to adjust the paid content. They're going to lower the Battle Pass. Virgil's going to be easier to get. Virgil's pretty hard to get right now. The thing about this beta is that they're wiping everything. So playing as more than Dante is kind of like not really optimal right now. It's not plausible because you're going to have such a hard time getting him moves with the way the progression currently works. Even if he did get Virgil or Lady, he probably would have to divert a lot of resources or just use the cash shop to try them out. It's really too hard to focus on more than one character right now. And then this one is interesting to me because I've had problems with this. The game overheats the phone and it starts to. I'm not sure if it's memory leaking or overheating or both, but eventually the frame rate goes down really bad. I mentioned this before, but my phone is prone to overheating, so I thought that maybe it was something on my end. But according to this, I guess a lot of the native Chinese players have been experiencing issues as well, so they're going to fix that. They're going to reduce the file size, which is whatever. Uh, this basically means that they're going to support more controllers. It worked just fine with my Razer Kishi. I do experience issues where it keeps disconnecting and I basically have to restart the game, but it picked up my controller natively. If the touchscreen is making you apprehensive towards trying the game, it's basically a non-issue. You can use, think you can use like just a Bluetooth Xbox controller. They also have PlayStation controller support as well. So, I mean, those are the two most mainstream controllers right there. And then you could easily just get a Joy-Con type thing like the Razer Kishi. There's that other one. I think it's called the GameSir X2. I believe that one has a better gamepad, or D-pad. So, you don't really have to play with a touchscreen. It feels like the worst way to play the game, obviously. I mean, you saw that combo video I uploaded yesterday. It was doing like weapon switch combos and enemy steps and stuff. I can't imagine doing that on the touchscreen, but they've done an exemplary job of actually letting you use a controller. A lot of games on this platform, they try to have combat like this, but they're too held back by the touchscreen, and they don't bother to add controller support. Here, after playing this game for, I don't know, at least 20 hours or so, I definitely would say it feels like it's designed with the controller in mind. It's going to be a lot harder to play it with the touchscreen, but I'm sure it's possible. And then finally, they're going to be looking at emulator optimization. I do notice when I play it on BlueStacks, the frame rate drops a lot for like seemingly no reason. The game is not taxing my PC at all. I gave it like, I think like over 10 gigs of RAM, which is more than what a actual like top of the line phone would have right now, and it still lags quite a bit. So I think these guys deserve success. I know the game is doing really well. The servers have been hammered constantly, so I think their hard work is paying off. I'm genuinely impressed with this game. I feels like I could easily drop like Honkai Impact and KOF All Star. I would totally drop those games once this goes into full release. The fact that it has native controller support and they're going to be officially supporting emulators is like above and beyond. So I don't know when this will happen. Whenever they do the next version, I guess they're going to have all these things. I'm kind of in a hard spot right now because I can't test a lot of the new weapons. I can't do much more gameplay until I get access to the cash shop. And right now, I've had a lot of problems doing that. So if I do manage to get the cash shop working, I'll let you guys know, and I'll probably show off some more moves. If I can unlock a few more of the weapons, I'll try to do like a full moveset video. Luckily, they do have videos for all the moves, kind of like DMC 4 and 5 do. So I'll try to get to that when I can, so you guys can see a little bit of the moveset. And then I'll try to put up a little bit more gameplay before the game shuts down. I'm at the last part of the final level of the story. but you fight Cerberus and he has like 50 trillion HP. It feels really unbalanced. My character is not really that weak either. I put a significant amount of resources into his stats, and it just takes too long to kill him. It feels like they need to lower the stats so that maybe like the way it is now is like the way it is when you have like no stats at all. But when you do have decent stats, the enemies or the bosses will die a lot faster. It definitely does feel like you're just hitting them with a wiffle bat or something instead of a sword, and that's kind of the issue. The pacing kind of goes out the window as soon as you start fighting a boss because most of them just have way too much health. Like I got a legendary sword and got the equivalent of nothing. So we'll see what happens there. I'm gonna try to put up another few videos before I go, but this is all pretty promising stuff. They're going to be looking at the progression. They're going to be lowering the price of a lot of the cache content. They're going to be fixing the optimization on emulator and the native device, the phone, and then they're going to be supporting more controllers too. So if you feel like you couldn't play this on a touchscreen, I sure as hell couldn't. That's not going to be an issue. I'll try to get out a few more videos before the game closes on the 2nd. Thanks for watching.